la formación del subjuntivo. ¿Qué es el subjuntivo primero? Okay, you should have the graphic organizer in front of you to take notes. If you don't have a copy of it, you can go onto Blackboard, and underneath the link to this PowerPoint, there is a Word document that you can print out. So before we talk about exactly what the present subjunctive is, I want to talk about moods. There are actually 3 moods in Spanish, or tres modos. The first mood, okay, is el indicativo. This is the indicative. It indicates facts. Los tiempos verbales, the verbal tenses, some of them I have listed here. El presente, the present tense. Pasado, which is the preterite and the imperfect. Futuro, condicional. We also have el presente perfecto y el pluscuamperfecto. This is pretty much what you've been doing for the last 2 years or 2.5 years in Spanish. The second mood is los mandatos imperativo. It's commands. You're telling someone to do something. Eat your breakfast. Don't go outside without a jacket on, for example. Y después tenemos el subjuntivo, the subjunctive, which is new. It expresses opinion, emotion, attitude, or feeling. There is a change of subject in the sentence, typically. With the first ones we're going to be dealing with, it's always a change of subject. And it's a multi-clause sentence, which I will give you examples later on. The tenses in the subjunctive, there's only 4 tenses, really. So there's a lot less. You have the present subjunctive, which we're going to learn this year. The imperfect subjunctive, there is no preterite subjunctive. The present and the past perfect. And this year we're going to learn the present and the present perfect subjunctive. So how do you form these? Okay, you change the verb to the yo form in the present indicative. You drop off the final o. You check for car, gar, and zar. If they are car, gar, and zar, you change a C to a QU, a G to a GU, and a Z to a C. And then you add the opposite endings. So if they end in AR, you add the es, hemos, es, en. If it ends in ER, IR, as, amos, ais, an. Now, hopefully, when you understand what I mean by changing it to the opposite ending. When I say opposite ending, typically in the indicative, ARs end in A, and ERIRs end in E. So I'm just saying you change it to the opposite ending is what you do for these. We are going to focus on how to conjugate. We're not really going to focus in this PowerPoint on how to use it. Does these steps look familiar to you? They should, because this is also how you form the usted, ustedes, and negative 2 commands. So you've already done this. We have, for example, the ARs. This is the usted ending. This is the ustedes ending. This is the negative 2 ending. So we just bring it all the way through. And the same with the ARs. These are the 2, usted, and ustedes endings. Okay, los verbos regulares. Por favor, escribe las formas de los verbos abajo en todas las formas. So I want you to write these 3 verbs, conjugate them in all the forms, and then come back and check them against mine. So you want to pause this. Okay, now that you're back, impresione, impresiones, impresione, impresionemos, impresiones, impresionen. Por ejemplo, el subjuntivo. Romper, rompa, rompas, rompa, rompamos, rompáis, rompan. Y compartir, comparta, compartas, comparta, compartamos, compartáis, compartan. Formación. Okay, verbs with irregular yo forms show the same irregularity throughout the present subjunctive. So what I would like you to do now is I want you to write the yo form of these verbs in the subjunctive. In the subjunctive. So you're going to think about what's the yo form in the present tense, and you're going to then put them in the subjunctive tense, and then come back and check. Okay, so pause this, come back and check. If you're not sure, you can do 1 or 2 and then check them because they don't all come up at once. Or if you'd want an example, I could give you an example. The first one, corregir, if you remember in the present tense, it's a GIR, so the G changes to a J, correct? Because we're taking this from the present tense. So it's corrija. Decir, diga. Incluir, incluya. Okay, this one's a UIR. Oír, oiga. Poner, ponga. Seguir, siga. Obedecer, obedezca. Okay, so that one's a CER. Traer, traiga. Escoger, escoja. GER. Y ver, vea. So in these forms, for example, let's say you're doing corregir and you want to conjugate it in all the forms. All the forms, the yo form would be corrija, the to form would be corrijas, etc. So you would conjugate it all the way through. So this is how you would conjugate it all the way through in all the forms. So whatever it is in the yo form, it goes all the way through in all of the forms. It's not just in the yo form like it is in the present tense. So the J stays all the way through. Hopefully you can read my handwriting. Lo siento. Ok. Vamos a practicar cargarizar. So hay que conjugar todos los verbos en el subjuntivo. Okay, so conjugate these, pause this, and then come back. Now the cargarins are in all of the forms as well, not just in the yo form. And here it goes all the way through in all the forms. Okay, so we have sacar, sake. It's a little off, sorry. Okay, we have a zar. We have a gar, etc. So as you look through all of them, the cargarin zar is in all forms. How'd we do? Los que cambian en la raíz. Now, whatever questions that you have, write them to the side so in class tomorrow I can answer any of them, and we'll be practicing this a lot. So now we have the stem changers. Now we have stem changers that end in AR and that end in ER. So, cambian en todas las formas salvo or excepto nosotros y vosotros. Okay, por ejemplo, tenemos pensar y entender. Okay, write these conjugations down. If you look at these, they change in all the forms except outside of the boot. They don't change, just like in the present indicative. Okay, so we have the boots right here. So anything that ends in AR and ER, and you're thinking, uh-oh, she didn't write IR. There must be something different with IR, which is correct. Let's go to the IRs. Okay, dos vocales cambian la bota. So if you have two vowels, it changes in the boot, pero la E cambia hasta la I, y la O cambia hasta la U fuera de la bota, en la forma vosotros y nosotros. So, por ejemplo, dormir. Okay, dormir, we have a two vowel change in the stem, because that's what it changes in the yo form in the present tense. But when we would get outside of the boot, it's only one vowel change. But inside of the boot, it is two. How do we know it's two? Because we know what it is in the present indicative. The present indicative yo form, because that's what you take to form the subjunctive, is duermo. Okay, sentirse, the present indicative, you take the whatever it is in the yo form in the present tense. That's what you take. But in here, like I said, vosotros and nosotros does not change like that. It just does one. So it changes the E to the I and the O to the U. So this is two vowel changes. The other IR ones, okay, if they have a one vowel stem changer, it changes in all the forms. Por ejemplo, pedir. Okay, pedir in the yo form is pido. It only changes one vowel, so it changes all the way through. You don't have to worry about anything. And then we have algunos irregulares. You know these irregulars because you learned them with usted, ustedes, and negative to commands. We have dar, estar, haber. Okay. So dar, de, des, de, demos, des, den. Pay attention to de has an accent mark. You already learned that for the usted command. Okay. Estar has accent marks in all of the forms except for estemos. And then haber, that's probably something new for you. You might not have learned that conjugation. So it's de, des, de, demos, des, den. Esté, estés, esté, estemos, estés, estén. And then haya, hayas, haya, hayamos, hayáis, hayan. And then the last three are ir, saber, and ser. So we have vaya, sepa, and sea. So make sure you write all these conjugations down. And the last thing that you may have learned last year or not, I know my Spanish 2s learned last year, is a little thing to help remember. It's de este, vaya haya, sea sepa, cha cha cha. So here we'll help you remember the irregulars. There's 6 of them. So it's de este, vaya haya, sea sepa, cha cha cha. So please write down any questions that you have. We're going to be practicing a lot of conjugating tomorrow. And nos vemos mañana. Ciao.